Hello YouTube world. First of all, I'd like to say happy 4th of July. And if you watch this video after the 4th of July, I'd like to say happy deleted 4th of July. Makes any sense. Now, if you notice, I have the American flag behind me. And for those who say the American flag is racist, I want you to know in the Civil War, there was a lot of, I would say this, African Americans who fought and died under that flag during the Civil War. In the March of Civil Rights, mainly in the 50s and 60s, they march waving that flag. Even not too long ago, and I believe it was in North Carolina, we had a pro-Confederate flag rally, and a lot of people protested against that. They waved the American flag on the counter-protest of the Confederate flag. But I'm not doing this video about the Confederate flag. I'm doing this video on the 4th of July. Speaking of the 4th of July, it's sad to say, but many Americans don't even know why we celebrate the 4th of July. They just think it was America's birthday, which, in a lot of cases, that's true. But they don't know why it's America's birthday. They don't even know what probably happened on July 4th in 1776. What happened on that extraordinary day, the Declaration of Independence was signed. The first person who signed it was John Hancock. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and a whole lot of others signed the Declaration of Independence, which gave birth to our great nation called America. Now, with that being said, the Declaration of Independence, that was a bold document written. And Thomas Jefferson, a man that I greatly admire and greatly respect, and I believe he's like the third president of the United States, if I'm wrong, maybe fourth, but the third, I forgot, but I'm wrong about that one. But Thomas Jefferson wrote one of the best documenting the best manifestos in human history, the Declaration of Independence. And those of you, because I heard a lot of you liberals, I'm not trashing liberals on this video, I really am not. But I heard a lot of liberals telling me that Thomas Jefferson's racist, they had to tear down the Thomas Jefferson Memorial in Washington D.C., blah, 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 yippee-yi-yay. I want to point this fact out first. When Thomas Jefferson was president, he tried his best to do away with slavery. He outlawed the slave trade. Even on the original draft of the Declaration of Independence, paraphrasing here, but he will put on there that the trade slave was a cruel, and I say cruel crime against humanity, something like that, speaking against slavery. Now I do admit Thomas Jefferson did have slaves. I can't deny that. He did treat them good, and I believe he had a few of his housemaids was his mistresses, if I understand correctly. So I'm pretty sure there's some, I would say this, African American people in America probably have some of Thomas Jefferson's genes in their system. I'd be the first to admit that. But despite being said all that, he did treat his slaves good. I'm not justifying what he did, but he did treat them pretty good. But Thomas Jefferson, the brilliant man he was, the man who owned slaves, yet wrote the best manifestos on human liberty and human freedom in history, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to read the whole passage to you, but I want to read part of this, okay? And kind of get you, hopefully get a good understanding of the Declaration of Independence and why it was signed. The reason why the Declaration of Independence was first drafted in the first place was to convince all the colonies, the farmers, whatever have you, people in the cities, to bear arms and go fight. And this document did that for them. It was so well written. I mean, I don't think no human being, even to this day, wrote a better document, the Declaration of Independence, to this very day, than Thomas Jefferson back in 1776. A young attorney at that. But this here, real quick here, okay? Pardon the expression, but real quick. It says here, when the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station of which the laws of nature and of nature gods entitle them. The disrespect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation, Now let's go on. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Now, before I go much further, those of you political correct people say, Well, that's sexist. Say that all men are created equal. When I say all people, listen, in 1776, they thought differently and they spoke differently. And not referring to men on this one, it's referring to everybody, men, women alike. They used the term men because that was common back in those days. Okay, that they're empowered by their Creator, which certain unalienable rights among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. With this with this Declaration of Independence, it declares that every American has the right of life. You have the right to live. You have the right to liberty. And furthermore, you have the right to happiness. That means you can pursue your own happiness any way, shape, or form. It's a good career, you're good. The job you like, acting, singing, lawyer, factory worker, car salesman, police officer, corrections officer, mechanic, technician, IT security, computer work, computer computer programmer, graphical engineer, whatever have you. If that is your right in pursuing your happiness, then that is your right. You have the right to pursue that. Even if you want to be a loser in life or just do drugs and drink beer and sit at home, and smoke crystal meth, shit like that, you have the right to pursue that happiness as well. Of course, what I said, if you're doing drugs, you might do some jail time, but you have the right to pursue your happiness. Even going to prison, do prison time makes you happy. You have the right to pursue that happiness. Sad but true. Where was I here? Pursue happiness. That to secure these rights, the governments are instituted among men. Here we go with the political correct people. It says that governments are instituted among men. It's not saying men in general, it's mean everybody, not by people, men and women. Remember, back in those days, they thought differently. Okay? Now let's go on. All right. Deriving their just powers from the constants of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and institute new government. Makes you wonder. Laying its foundation of such principles and organizing its power in such form as to do that as then shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Here we go, happiness again. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. Accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind is more disposed to suffer while evil are sufferable. Make you think. Them to right themselves by abolishing the forms of which that they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuse and usurpations. Let me repeat that again. But when a long train of abuses and usurpation pursuing inevitably the same object invents the design to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is the right and it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. So it is your right to throw off the government. Let's go on. Such has been the patient suffering of these colonies, such as new and necessities which consent them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having a direct to object the establishment of such absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, lest facts be submitted to a candid world. And all these usurpations that presented over a tyrant of the King of Great Britain. Let's read a few of these. What do you say? It says right here. He has refused to assent to laws that the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws to impede the pursuant importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be attained. When so suspended, he had utterly neglected to attend them. He has refused to pass other laws for accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people who relinquish the rights of representation in the legislature, a right necessary to them and formerly to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies in places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them to compliance with his measure. Let's go on. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his evasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time, after such disillusion, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers incapable of and annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise. The state remaining the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for the purpose of obstructing the laws for nationalizations of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migration hither, and raising the combination of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent of laws for establishing judiciary power. He has made judges dependent of his will alone from the tenure of their offices and the amount of payments of their salaries. What do you think about that? He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent the swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil powers. He has combined with others to subject us to a judiciary foreigner of our Constitution, a judiciary foreign to our Constitution and acknowledged by our laws, giving assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial for punishment of any murders which he should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond the seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English law in a neighbor province established therein an arbitrary government, enlarging the boundaries for his renderance, and once an example and fit instrument, and introduced the same absolute rule on these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing the most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government. For suspending all of our legislators and declaring himself invested with powers of election for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. Dissolution and tyranny already begun with the circumstances of cruelty and perfidy, scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy of the head of a civilized nation. He has constructed our fellow citizens to take captives on the high seas, to bear arms against their country, become the execution of their friends and brethren, or fall themselves by their hands. He has exceeded domestic narration among us, and his endeavor for bringing us the inhabitants of our frontier. Let me read this again. He has extended domestic narrations amongst us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers. The merciless Indian savages, with no rule of warfare, is unjudicial destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. Now, before you go saying that's racist and everything, I have to remind you, people back then thought differently. I am part Indian myself. No bullshit. My great grandmother